Scabby
Podcast. In an ancient hotel in room 142 lay two foolhardy fools with nothing to do. They sit and they ponder about movies they've seen while trapped in their room and stare at their TV screen. Sometimes they play songs on the instruments they've amassed. The Pinj and the Maggie on the Scabby Hayze Podcast.
Welcome to the Scabby Hayze Podcast. This is your co-host Maggie.
And this is your co-host Pinj. Welcome to episode 11.
Yeah, sorry about last week.
Yeah.
There was a little bump in the road.
Maggie and I were both out of town, away, so we didn't really have a chance to be able to record an episode.
Unfortunately, so we're making it up by bringing you a review of more than one movie.
Yes.
This week. So, we've been watching a lot of movies lately.
Yeah.
As of late. And some of them included Road to Perdition, The Thing.
From 1982.
Wait Until Dark.
From 1967, I want to say.
Something like that.
I believe I have that right.
Yeah.
And also Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Alright, real quick review of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It sucks. There we go. Get that out of the way.
Okay, let's talk about some other things now.
Okay.
Can we please never mention that again?
Yeah, let's never ever talk about that.
Right. It's terrible.
What should we start off on?
Well, first I think that we should start off by saying that the reason that we watched those movies. So, we were playing a game called Love Letter. If you haven't heard of it and don't know anything about it, look it up. It's awesome.
It's a card game.
Yeah, it's a strategy card game. You have to have 4 points to win. Pinj and I had 3 points each, so we thought we would shake things up a bit, and I brought up a proposition. I said, if you win, we'll watch The Thing, which is a movie that Pinj has been wanting me to watch for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
But if I win, then we get to watch Road to Perdition, which is a movie that I had just recently seen, but it's really, really good. And I lost. So so we watched The Thing and Road to Perdition.
Yeah, even though...
But we watched The Thing first.
Yeah, even though I won the game, we still watched Road to Perdition.
Okay, but it was, if you won, then we watched The Thing, not we didn't watch Road to Perdition.
I guess, but still...
I kept up my end of the bargain.
That's true, you did.
Yeah.
Which I'm honestly surprised you did.
Hey. I know, to be honest, I wouldn't do it over again. Because The Thing sucked.
Oh, okay, you know what? No,
Okay, well...
Okay, fine. Explain your reasons why it sucked.
Alright. First off, it was absolutely disgusting. And unnecessarily gross. There were so many, drippings of what looked like snot. The textures and the noises, everything about it was gross. And it wasn't terrifying or scary or... It didn't keep me on the edge of my seat. It was just like, ugh.
It's tense.
It's gross. No, I mean, it wasn't.
It's kind of supposed to be gross. It's a grotesque monster.
I understand, but I just didn't enjoy that. I don't want to be grossed out. I mean, I'm sorry if you like that kind of thing, but it's not something I enjoy. A feeling that I enjoy or welcome.
Yeah, but if you were put in that situation, it'd be terrifying. You didn't project yourself into the characters.
I'm not saying that it wouldn't be scary if I was in that situation. I'm saying that it was gross. And if I was in that situation, I would be grossed out.
You just sit there and be like,
yeah.
Ew, that's gross. There's
a
giant dog blob is coming towards you.
I just go, ew.
Sorry, apologies. We should start off a review on The Thing by saying The Thing is a movie directed by John Carpenter starring...
random people that I'd never heard of before. Who's the main actor?
It's
Kurt Russell?
yeah, it's Kurt Russell.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he looked like him. I was like, that kind of looks like Kurt Russell, but I mean, he was really young.
Yeah, he
so
is.
It took me back a little
Yeah.
bit.
It stars Kurt Russell, Wilford Brimley.
Oh yeah, Diabetes.
Yeah.
He was the one with the head, with the legs.
No.
That wasn't him.
No, he was Blair.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know where he's outside in the
Yeah.
building and he has the noose?
Oh yeah.
That's Wilford Brimley.
Oh okay.
The movie is about these people in Antarctica that are like at this U.S. research base. They have to deal with this encounter of this being from outer space. It takes over people by any means, and then it can transform really into anything.
So basically, it imitates whatever it has infected, and in that way, it can fool people and infect others.
Yeah.
But without being noticed.
And me personally, I find the movie quite tense because of that.
I will tell you something that I liked about the movie
Okay.
was the fact that they didn't add in a bunch of scientific
Yeah.
jargon and stuff into it, because they call it the Thing because they don't understand it. And they don't know how to understand it.
Yeah.
So they don't add in a bunch of, well, these aliens came from blah, 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 and they're here because of blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
this is how they made it, and this is what their plan is, and they just didn't add a bunch of that stuff in. So it made it a little bit more real. So you're getting it from the victim's perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't really care what it is. They just have to know we have to get rid of it.
Right. They just want to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that part of it was cool.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't worth all the sliminess. It was weird. So that was my take on it.
Okay. Now,
Fail.
what did you think of the acting?
That was another thing that I didn't really care for about it. I didn't think that the acting was that great, to
Really?
be honest. Yeah. I mean, of course, like, the situation is tense, but it was a lot of unnecessary... It seemed pushed.
What? How?
A little bit. Like, the characters were being forced, like, behind camera. Be more tense, be more aggressive.
How so?
The kid that they nicknamed Windows,
Oh, yeah.
he was way over the top. Like, even before the Thing even appeared.
Yeah.
You could already tell.
He's kind of supposed to be. The 80s.
I know. I understand that the character, but it was overdone. I didn't think the acting was anything spectacular. I didn't think it was really bad acting. At
No,
least there
certainly
wasn't
not.
any awkward moments
Mm-hmm.
that I can remember. Nothing too cringeworthy. But it wasn't anything spectacular. Certainly shouldn't have made the movie as popular as it is.
It's not. When it first came out, this movie was heavily criticized.
Well, I'm sure.
People didn't like it at all.
Because it's gross.
That's about the same reason, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Back then.
I agree with them.
But since then, like, a lot of... It's sort of had, like, a cult following, and people are like, oh.
The more that society develops into something disgusting, the more they embrace the disgustingness of the culture around them.
I don't know, I didn't know, and I was like, what's the big fungus about this movie? So I was like, oh, I'll watch it.
What's the big fungus?
Yeah, what's the big fungus?
There's a fungus among us.
There's a humongous fungus among us.
It's a pretty stupid alien.
What?
Because why would it... I don't know. Why would it even make itself so huge if it didn't get to finish impersonating?
It's a big blob monster.
And actually, it wasn't that scary.
Well, no.
It was just gross. It's like, ew.
It's
It looks like there's a bunch of worms coming out of it.
It's intense, though. It's a very intense film. The first time I watched it, I barely knew anything going in. I knew, the same as you, the defibrillator scene. Iconic.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, I didn't know much. And the part with the dog, where it's in the kennel.
Where its head opens?
Yeah, I was like, what? I was losing my mind. That is nuts. This movie
gross.
is phenomenal in its practical effects. All of it is practical, except for...
Animatronics?
Yeah, except for, like, one of the last scenes in the movie. where it's underground and it breaks out. You see this giant tentacle. It rips out and it grabs the TNT explosive starter.
Detonator?
Whatever. Yeah, thank you. Detonator. It grabs it. That's like kind of the only stop motion, but everything else is practical. And it looks fantastic.
It looks pretty good, but you can tell. You can still tell, but it is really good.
Yeah, I guess. But
just like the movements are a little bit choppy. It's kind of robotic.
In some parts, yeah. In the movie's defense, I will say this, it adds sort of to like the alienness to it. Of like just this weird creature. It moves erratically around and such.
Yeah, maybe.
I also really like, I don't even know how they got it to do that, but the dog is like a great actor. It's
that's
weird.
True. I did think that, and I was like, wow, how'd they get that dog to do all those things?
There's just a couple moments where it's just standing still and just staring.
Right.
It's like, how do they do that?
And the other dogs around it aren't even bothering it. Like, it doesn't even acknowledge that they're there. They're like kind of staring at it, and they think it's a stranger, so they're kind of backing away from it a little bit, and the dog just perfectly still.
Yeah. It's like,
wow, that's a very well trained dog.
Uh-huh.
That was one thing I did notice about it.
Yeah. I like it, especially in the sci-fi aspect. This is like one of the coolest like sci-fi monsters. It's perfect.
No,
and the execution
of it. It's not cool though. It's gross. It doesn't take on a form except a blob of weird like ligaments and weird organs in different places. It's not a cool alien.
It is.
It's a gross alien.
It's both.
Alien is a cool alien. Predator is a cool alien. Even if they are, terrorizing stuff like that, they're cool. The kaiju are cool.
Yeah.
The Thing is disgusting.
Exactly.
But that's not cool. That's just gross.
It's both, really.
Not really.
It is meant to be gross.
So is Alien. But the alien itself isn't nasty. It's when it pops out of the stomach or whatever. I mean, that's, it's meant to be nasty.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I haven't seen Alien, so I guess I can't say. But I know a lot about it because it's way too popular.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So it's meant to be gross. You're like, ew, it popped out of the stomach. It's been living inside them.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Now, to me, that's disgusting.
Really?
Yeah. No, having, like, a little worm in your body?
Oh, I mean, that's
Dang it. We should say, I'm probably going to go back and hear a lot of this, but we still have the L jar out, so...
Yeah. I'm sure I've said it 1,000 times already.
I'll add something to let us know.
Okay.
That's right. Post-production Pinj here to inform you that Scabby Hayze Incorporated has not forgotten about our like jar. Now, unfortunately, I was unable to convey just how many times we've said like in this episode that wasn't obnoxious. So, Maggie and I have then decided to transfer the like jar over to our social media. For every podcast episode we release, we will be also announcing just how many times we've said like on the Scabby Hayze Podcast. Now, it may be in a different variety of ways, but who cares? Let's get back to the episode.
Okay.
But yeah, like... Dang it! But in Alien, the worm creature living in the guy's stomach, that's disgusting. The Thing is...
Because it's real. Because, tapeworms are real. A real thing.
Yeah,
they live inside people's stomachs and lungs and...
It's a similar thing.
Yeah.
But with the Thing, it's... I don't know. It kind of reminds me of, like, a kid's drawing. In a lot of aspects.
Exactly. It's something nasty that a 5-year-old would think of. Like, I know. Why don't we just make a blob of a bunch of different creatures and make it slimy and dripping everywhere, and then it shoots worms at people and infects them, and they become worms too.
It's creative. It is.
I mean, it's imaginative for sure.
Yeah.
But not an enjoyable imagination.
It's not supposed to be like
gross.
Dang it.
And that's an idea from a kid that you say, honey, we don't talk about that. Or, why don't you go color picture or something. You know what I mean? Redirect the conversation and get them to think about something else besides sliminess. It's good to have an imagination, but it's good to have a... What's the word I'm trying to think of? Not constructive, but not even moral. I don't know what I'm trying to think of.
It's a creative monster that's terrifying.
It's good to have good ideas.
The thing is a good idea. It's a perfectly executed monster in the movie. It's terrifying.
No, it's not. It's just nasty. See, that's where we differ because you think that it's scary, and I think that it's gross.
I don't necessarily think it's scary.
You just said. You said it's terrifying.
I said it's terrifying. I don't necessarily find it scary. Put it in that situation, I would be terrified. Then what's good about
the movie? Because it's supposed to be a horror.
Well...
So if you weren't scared,
Jaws is supposed to be a horror movie.
No, it's not. Wait. You looked it up. You said you had to go to a different website to find out that it was described as a horror film. It's a thriller. There's a big difference, and it does thrill.
I see The Thing as a thriller. Because
who are you to judge that?
My opinions.
Okay, well the genre that everybody else has chosen for it is horror. So everyone else liked it because it was scary.
So? That doesn't mean I can't like it.
I mean, you can, but...
I like it for different reasons. You can do that with movies.
Okay, but you can't set a genre for it and be your own.
I like it as a thriller. I think it's very thrilling.
I don't.
It's a creative monster. It's an idea that's so executed well for the movie. Like, it fills out to its, like, greatest potential.
Yeah, but it was a bad idea.
It's not. It's interesting.
I mean, I should say that I knew the same that Pinj did about the defibrillator scene where they're, you know, the head on the legs and all that. Mm-hmm. That's the only scene that I knew from that movie, and that's the only thing I knew about the Thing. And for the longest time, weeks and weeks and weeks, Pinj has been saying, we should watch The Thing. Want to watch The Thing? Let's watch The Thing. And I'm like, no, it's gross. No, it's disgusting. No, I don't want to watch that. He said, it's a small part of the movie. It's not even... It's one part of the movie.
The defibrillator scene is one part of the movie.
Okay, but the same nastiness about that is all the way throughout the movie. And I didn't realize that. So I was expecting, that's probably the end scene, the final form or whatever. Everything's leading up to that. And then it'll just be a minute or so of the head on the legs. And I watched it.
The head on the legs.
Sure enough, it was just as I had predicted earlier before you even said anything.
The head on the legs is probably the ugliest one, and it's only there for like 30 seconds. That's it.
All the rest of it's still gross. I mean, that's really hideous and stuff, but the rest of it's nasty. Obviously, we can't come to an agreement about it, so let's move on to Road to Perdition.
Hold up. I'll ask you this. What did you think of the characters?
Honestly, none of them were likable.
What?
Yeah. Except for the defibrillator guy. I don't know his name.
The doc?
No. Or was he the doc?
The doc.
I thought Blair was the doc.
No. Blair is more of...
Was he like the scientist or something like that?
Kind of, yeah. He's the one who's like doing the autopsy.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Doc is the one who sticks the defibrillator in like the Thing's mouth. Dang it.
No, I'm talking about...
And they get bitten off.
No, I'm talking about the guy who he does it to.
That guy?
Yeah, he's way too random. He's not in very much of it. But he's just, like, nice and level-headed.
So is Bennings.
Who's that?
Bennings is the other scientist who goes outside, and he, like... Dang it! The Thing is slowly transforming into him, and they get to it just in time before it finishes. And they say, it isn't Bennings. And they light him on they put gasoline on him and then light him on fire. Yeah.
Okay, that was kind of a cool scene.
Yeah.
I will admit, that was a cool scene. But the guy that has, like, the heart attack or whatever, he was the guy that I
Okay.
the best character, I think.
Not
He's way too random, but he's...
not Nails or McGreedy?
No.
What?
He is too, like, cocky and ego.
Well, alright, fine. For that, I can give you that. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 left a very bitter taste in our mouths.
In all of our mouths.
Yes.
That was a terrible movie. That's another day. Actually not.
Don't go on a rant.
We're never going to rewatch that. Okay.
Yeah, never.
I'll refrain myself.
Okay. Me personally, I do enjoy the characters. I don't think they're fantastic by any means, but they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
And they feel very realistic. Like they're not like, oh, I'm all jokestery. But when they're all put in this situation, they're all very tense and they're like, crap.
I don't know that they feel very real. To me, they just seemed over-exaggerated. And it's kind of hard to imagine how people would react in a situation like that. But it just seems like they're, I don't know, being pushed to be that dramatic.
Do you at least enjoy the story?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Not even that?
No.
It's a great concept and well executed. It's
as
a
far
good
as,
story.
As far as the concept goes, alien invades Earth, impersonates people, and infects other people. That's a cool concept.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't execute it well. And the way that the way that they go about it is not...
Okay, then what would you have done?
I would have not made it so nasty.
Okay, that's a whole different thing.
I know.
That's
why
not
I said the concept is cool and not...
That's not part of the
visuals.
story. That's the visuals, not the story.
I know, and I said I liked the concept.
Concept and story are different. Concept is like...
You asked me if I liked
it.
the concept. So I said I did.
I asked about the story.
Oh. No.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because a good story has good character development in it. And to be honest, I didn't like any of the characters. Except for the guy that was in it for like 2 seconds and he dies.
McCready is very level-headed. And I think that's a great...
Yeah, but there's no
aspect of the
reason
movie.
why all of a sudden he's the leader.
No one else is trustworthy.
Yeah, but why did anybody trust him? I mean, I guess they didn't.
He's a
but
little more level-headed than the others.
I don't know. There wasn't anything likable about his character, though.
He's smart. He makes smart decisions. They could have done a whole lot more dumb things with him.
Not really. Most of the time he's drunk in his cabin.
That is like the beginning scene and that's
No,
it.
it's not. It's later on, too.
Oh, that's
he makes
true.
a little recording of things that are happening.
Yeah. I think it's a great concept, good story, well executed. I appreciate the movie on a technical level for the amount of... Dang it.
You know what? That's super distracting. I always lose my train of thought when I have to do that.
I appreciate the movie on a technical level, on a story level. The writing is well done. I think it's good.
Well,
I enjoy it. I enjoyed it much more on my second viewing, too.
yeah, I didn't like it. Highly wouldn't recommend.
I would recommend it if you're a sci-fi fan.
I am a sci-fi fan, but that's a different level of sci-fi. It's not your typical sci-fi movie. Like I said, the genre, they have listed it as a horror.
It's more of a thriller, though. You don't have to put every movie into a box, Maggie. You don't have to put every single movie into a box.
Science fiction horror.
So?
So, it's like it's a type of sci-fi movie. You can't lump it in there with all the others. It's extremely different than your typical sci-fi movie.
It would be on the
And that
same
could be-
level of
that could
Alien or
be-
Predator.
That could be a good thing or a bad thing, and in this case, it's a bad thing.
It's not.
Well, I think so.
It's a good movie.
Obviously, we're not going to come to an agreement because we have different opinions about it.
I think it's because you're putting it into a box. You're saying, oh, it's a horror movie. Therefore...
No, I mean, that doesn't make any difference to me. What matters is what I saw and how I perceived it. And it was just too gross.
It's supposed to be.
Okay, well, I didn't like that.
Doesn't make any sense. All right.
What do you mean?
You know
how does
what-
that not make sense to you?
You know what we
That's
should
my
watch?
opinion.
You know what we
That's
should
my
watch?
opinion!
You know what we should watch week after
You
next?
don't know what's good for me.
You know what we should watch week after next?
No.
Alien. Let's watch Alien. Because they are similar movies, as far as I know. I would like to see where the fine line for you is.
It's not that fine of a line. What's a sci-fi that I really like?
That you really like?
Yeah. We weren't even using it like that.
Still. Well, I'm out of coins.
So much for that. I really enjoy Men in Black.
Yeah.
Okay, here's...
Man in Black has a ton of goop in it. And, like, icky stuff.
Yeah,
Icky
but
stuff.
it's not... but it's funny, and they make a joke out of it. And it doesn't dwell on, like, look how disgusting this is. It's like, haha, he got covered in slime. It's funny. Men in Black is a great movie.
It is. It's a very funny movie.
And it's extremely sci-fi.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But there's a huge difference between that movie and The Thing. It's completely different. So it's not that fine of a line.
So what you're telling me is, if the movie tells you it's gross, you find it gross, but you accept it on a different level of saying, that's gross, therefore I don't like it.
No, I'm not doing it because the movie tells me it's gross. I'm saying it's nasty because of what I think is gross.
You're saying Men in Black is gross, but it tells you to be funny, therefore you find it funny.
No, not necessarily. It's just the way that they...
Yeah.
It's the way that they portray it. And it doesn't tell me to think it's funny.
It is. That's how it's portrayed.
Yeah, but that's what makes a good movie, is how it makes you think and how it makes you feel.
Therefore, The Thing is a great movie because it makes you feel disgusted by the terrifying monster.
Yeah, but I don't like that feeling of liking something that's nasty.
So you did actually like it then?
No.
That's what you're saying.
No. That's stupid.
Yeah, it is. The movie succeeded in what it wanted you to feel.
No, there's no
That's a
possible
good
way.
movie.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
It
Okay,
kind of
well,
is.
I went into a little bit too much detail, and maybe I started
Okay,
getting
try
a
it
little
again.
too technical.
Try it again.
Men in Black is funny. The Thing is not. The Thing is disgusting.
The Thing's not meant to be funny. It's meant to be gross and terrifying.
I know.
Or
I don't like that. I don't
gross
want
and
to be.
thrilling.
I don't want to be grossed out or scared, and I wasn't scared. I was just grossed out. But it's not like a grossed out like I cringe or anything. It's just not something I enjoy. I don't want to look at that.
You look at it in Men in Black. It's
Only in, like certain. It's not revolved around that. The whole movie isn't revolved around that. There's only a few scenes
Some
where
of it
there's
is.
goo.
There's only a few scenes in
And
The Thing.
and in the scenes where it is, then it is gross.
There's like... Alright, well, I'm out of money anyways, but there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 scenes in The Thing that involve The Thing. There's probably...
Yeah, but
I can think of like 3 or 4 in Men in Black that are similar.
6 scenes is a lot. And in between them, all you're thinking about is when's it gonna show up again?
Yeah, it's terrifying. Or not thrilling.
You keep on saying that, and then you keep on saying, I wasn't scared.
The concept is scary. I find it thrilling. I was not scared watching the movie.
Yeah.
However, the whole thing is terrifying. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Okay. When I say it's terrifying, I mean the reality in which the movie lies is terrifying.
Okay.
Watching it, I find it thrilling. I am not scared.
Well, I get that, but...
Similar scenes in Men in Black and The Thing, where there's only a few scenes of the icky thump stuff going on.
The whole point I was trying to make was that you can't really compare Men in Black to The Thing because they're two completely different movies while both being under the classification as sci-fi.
You can somewhat compare them.
Because you said that there was a fine line for me. But actually, they're so different.
They use the same...
that they can't really be compared.
They use the same creatures.
It's not the same concept. They don't want you to feel the same way in Men in Black that they do in The Thing.
They could write Men in Black as a horror movie. Or as a thriller.
They could have, but they didn't.
Exactly. But it's still using very similar creatures, I suppose. Aliens. I'll put it that way. Some are grotesque and some are sneaky, you know. Does that make sense?
How is that like The Thing?
Okay, The Thing can turn into like a big blob monster. There's a couple of those.
No, it doesn't
Men in
turn
Black.
into one. That's when it hasn't finished
Taking over
Yeah.
another form. Still, it is that in a process. And then you have...
its final form, which is basically just a human or something real in
Yeah.
the world.
An imitation. But with Men in Black, you have like blob creatures and such.
Yeah.
They exist in the movie.
Wanga.
Wanga. So what you're telling me is that The Thing does succeed in what it does, and what it's trying to get you to feel.
I don't know.
You don't enjoy being told that it's so gross.
No, I just didn't like looking at all the nasty stuff.
You looked at it in Men in Black. You looked at it in Jaws too, by the way.
When?
The blob head that comes out from the boat.
Oh my word. Okay, you remember when you told me that the head on the legs was just a tiny little scene in the movie? That was a lie. This is literally tiny little inconspicuous, unimportant scene in the movie.
The head on... the crab legs on the head is a small part of the film.
Okay,
That's what I said.
I assumed that you meant that creature, and I didn't know that it took on different forms. How was I supposed to magically know that it was a bunch of different creatures taking on different forms?
Well, if I would have told you, it would have ruined the movie.
Well, the movie was already destroyed because of the way that it is.
Don't make any sense.
Yes, I do.
No.
I didn't like it.
I understand that, but your logic behind it doesn't make any sense.
I didn't like it because
You're saying the only reason you don't like the movie is because of the visuals, but the same visuals are very similar to the ones in Men in Black, which you are comparing it to.
Very similar, but they're not the same.
They're similar.
They're not the same.
That's true, but they're very similar.
Who cares?
You
I
should,
know.
because your logic is inconsistent.
It isn't.
You're saying the only reason you don't like the thing is because of the visuals, but
you
the
know
same
what?
visuals
There wasn't
are...
worms squirting out of bodies and stuff in
Yes,
Men in
there
Black.
was! There were
The
giant
thing is
tentacles
way more
coming out of a
disgusting.
lady as she gave birth to a squid.
It didn't show it coming out of her body, though.
Well,
all it showed was tentacles coming out of the car. And that way, it's comical, not disgusting.
it doesn't matter if it's comical or terrifying. In your reasoning, you're saying the only reason you didn't like the movie is because of the visuals.
Yeah, the way
Nasty
they
stuff
did it.
going on.
Okay,
Same things happen in Men in Black and in The Thing.
Not the same thing.
Very similar.
Who cares? It wasn't the same thing.
You
It's
should.
a completely different movie.
Because your logic doesn't make any sense. It doesn't.
It makes sense to me. All I know is I like Men in Black. I don't like The Thing. The Thing is disgusting. Men in Black is funny.
Only because it's played for comedy.
They're two completely different movies. No matter if they're similar or not, they're not the same movie.
We're only comparing the visuals.
I realize that. I don't have to agree with you. Do you realize that?
I understand, but I'm trying to get you to understand.
My logic isn't flawed. That's just the way I feel when I watch the movie. I enjoy Men in Black and I didn't. Whatever is different about Men in Black than The Thing, I like.
Then why don't you just say the tone? Because the visuals are similar. There's no point in arguing.
They're not the same, though.
That's why you don't like the movie.
You can say they're similar all you want. You can keep repeating yourself and saying they're similar, but they're not the same thing. Just because they're similar doesn't mean they're the same thing. And the differences are
the tone.
Giant.
That's the difference.
What do you mean the tone? It doesn't have anything to do with the visuals.
One is a thriller, the other is a comedy.
So now you're saying that the labels matter.
That's what the tone of the movie is. Okay, fine. Is that how you... What's the word? Is that how you translate the movie or perceive it?
I feel like that's what they were trying to make people feel.
Okay, do you perceive Men in Black as a comedy?
Yes.
Okay, I do too. So we agree on that.
Yeah.
Do you perceive The Thing as a thriller?
No, I think they were trying to make it into a horror.
Did you find it thrilling?
No.
Not even in the slightest?
No.
What's wrong with you?
It was just nasty.
Something's so wrong with you.
I wasn't on the edge of my seat, to be honest. At all.
It's a big, terrifying I
wasn't bored. It was just... I kind of was watching it, wanting it to just be over. So I was like, when's the end gonna come?
Dang, did you start at that with the beginning, though? Like, even before even watching the movie?
No, I mean... I literally was going into it, and you told me before we watched the movie, you said, don't get your hopes up, don't have your expectations too high.
Because I expected you to hate the ending.
Right, and
because
so
it is
my
ambiguous.
expectations plummeted even further down than they were before. So I was like, okay, good, I'm in a good spot. I think this movie's going to be absolutely terrible. Come on, blow my mind. And it absolutely didn't. It met all my expectations, which were extremely low.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just didn't like it.
You have to find some good things in the movie, though.
Yeah,
I know you can.
I did. I said I liked that character. I liked that scene where the guy was making the alien noise and they set him on fire. Mm-hmm. That was cool. And I liked the dog acting. See, so I can find certain little things about the movie that I liked, but overall, I would not watch it again, and it overall grossed me out.
Okay, real quick, what about the soundtrack, though?
It was good for the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not something that I would listen to, like, probably. I'd probably find, like, go back, if I were to listen to the soundtrack, find a song that I really liked out of it and put it on my playlist. But, I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular, but it was good for the movie.
Okay, and the effects?
They were pretty good. Like I said, the animatronics were good, but you could still tell they were animatronics.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were good.
Okay.
The spaceship at the beginning was a little...
a little,
but
yeah.
I was like, this is an older movie, so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's alright for its time.
Yeah.
It a little bit reminded me of Close Encounters.
I knew it was. I knew it.
But just that one scene.
Okay.
I did try to keep an open mind, I just didn't like it.
Okay. I can be fine with that. I wasn't expecting you to love it. I wasn't sure.
I know,
entirely.
and I don't understand why you wanted me to watch it so bad, because you knew I wasn't going to like it.
There was that chance that you would, and I was like, well, maybe. Because in some aspects, it does remind me a lot of Jaws.
A little bit, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a completely different story.
They're pretty different,
Yeah.
yes. But I know that Jaws is, like, one of your favorite movies.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll give it a shot, you know?
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, Jaws is a great movie. But it's like a real thing. It's like...
The Thing is a thing.
It's like... a shark, and you know how powerful sharks can be and how aggressive, and you see all the, you know, I don't know, it's just different.
It's funny you say that because I find Jaws less scary.
Because you know what abilities sharks have?
No, the movie didn't succeed in a tense situation for me, I suppose.
Oh, man.
I found The Thing to be more tense. Perhaps because maybe I'm more sick than you, but perhaps because of the twisted, freaky stuff you do see. You're like, oh, crap. Like the dog, where it's like the tentacles are flying everywhere. It's a freaky monster. You don't see the shark eat people.
You do.
You see the after effects.
Right.
Except for Quint, where a little blood trickles out of his mouth and that's it.
No, his whole torso is being split in half.
Well, it doesn't show his torso split.
It shows the shark biting down in his stomach.
I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't
Plus
find...
he opens his mouth and there's blood everywhere, so...
I guess, it's true. I don't know, I found Jaws... Even though I am...
Besides...
terrified of sharks, I didn't find it that scary.
The very first scene is the shark dragging a woman underwater, and it shows the whole entire...
And that's a scary situation.
Yeah.
Maybe it was because people that we were watching it with were babbling about,
yeah, I know.
This doesn't look that good.
I'm telling you have to rewatch it with good sound.
Maybe.
And just you and me.
maybe we can make another episode on it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. And I'll tell you every reason why I like Jaws. But you know what? I'm not going to say why you should like it. I'll just say why I like it.
Okay. Fair enough. And I don't think you necessarily have to like The Thing.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
That's
no matter
fair.
what you say.
That's fair. I like it for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best movie ever made. I don't even think it's really fantastic. But I think what the movie does and the practicality of it, like the effects and such, are done spectacularly well.
Yeah. Can we please talk about Road to Perdition?
That's right, Pinj and Maggie, we will take a look at Road to Perdition. However, not on this part of the episode. If you would like to, you can tune in next time to listen to the second part of this Scabby Hayze episode. Now, if you would like to, you can find us on social media, on Twitter, Instagram. You can find our podcast episodes, old and new, on YouTube. You can find us on TuneIn, iTunes, and Spotify. Thank you all so much for listening to the Scabby Hayze Podcast. If you want, the second part will be out very soon where we review Road to Perdition. And without much further ado, goodbye!